Germany's rising theater talent and cinema actress Sesede Terziyan has acted in more than 20 feature films and TV series, claiming wide fame across Europe. She was born in Northern Ham in northern Germany to a deeply rooted Armenian family from Yozgat, Turkey. After finishing her studies at the Ernst Busch Academy for the Dramatic Arts, her first roles brought her to the Deutsche Theater Berlin and to the Maxim Gorki Theater. In 2005, she became a co-founder of Berlin's off-theater Eigenreich. In 2011, she was named Actress of the Year by the journal Theater Heute. CivilNet was in Berlin in April during the Armenian Genocide Centennial commemorations and met with the Berlin-based talent in the Maxim Gorki Theater.
Without slackening his horse. Yes.
I'm working since over 10 years now in the theater and for the cinema, and it's a quite strange business, I would say. And it's not an easy business, I would say. And you know, it's so funny for the German people. I'm a stranger. If you have dark eyes, dark hairs, you are immediately Muslim. You know, because in the past we had the Jews propaganda, now we have a Muslim propaganda in Europe, and this whole integration, political stuff, what is coming up. And so everyone who has dark eyes and dark hairs are Muslims, and that's how they are seeing you, and that's how the roles are in movies too. And there is not a different view on people and on minorities. And that's the reason why I'm working as an actor. And I'm thankful for this gift that God gave me, for this talent that I have. It's so important that people like you, like other artists like me, are going outside with a self-expression, raising their voice, showing their faces, not hiding their names, not hiding their faces, not hiding their voices, with what we grow up in my family and in so many different Armenian families, to showing people that you can't find so immediate, so quickly answers to simple questions, that things are not white and black, that they are much more complicated.
When we met Sesede, she was participating in several theater projects as a part of 2 months-long program called It Snows in April, dedicated to the centennial of the Armenian Genocide by the Maxim Gorki Theater. She talked about her roles in these works.
Komitas, it's a work with Maxim together. He's a German, Turkish, Armenian composer, and he's trying to make a reconstruction about Komitas' life and about his music. And Maxim, he's a composition, and he's doing new compositions with Komitas music. And last year we went together to the east side of Turkey, to the frontier of Armenia. And I told you we visit Ani and different churches for research, the steps of Komitas. And we are trying to bring Komitas' story and his soul on stage. And actually I will play Komitas.
As a woman,
I will play Komitas, exactly. You know, it's a very serious reconstruction from him, about him too. And the good thing as an artist, you have a very free place and you can do whatever you want to. And we want to use this kind of strangeness. Maxim wants from the beginning that a woman is playing Komitas. And as we met each other, he said, "You are the one who I want to." And it's also to have a bit of strangeness, also to have a bit of distance for the viewer, not to, how can I describe, not to put them so much emotionally inside of something. It's also to keep a distance, that you have the possibility as a viewer also to think about that, what you are seeing. And that's the one thing. The second thing, the Auctions of Soul, it's a unique story. I really have to say, I didn't know anything about that before. She went to the United States for searching and finding her brother. Then a guy from the film industry gets interested into her story. And then her story, there came out a book and a film. It was the first film about the genocide. It was, you can say it was the first blockbuster. They made $6 billion with this movie. And 2-3 years ago, this movie just got lost. And this Mrs. Madiganyan was not just a victim of the genocide, she was also a victim from the film industry, because they just used her life story for making business out of it. And she didn't earn anything about that. So, and this movie just got lost. Just imagine a big Hollywood movie just get lost like 2-3 years later. That's how politicals are working.
Can you tell about the other plays? What have you done in the past half?
Yes, that's a very special and a very personal thing. I worked on it with Hans-Werner Krösinger. He's a very famous documentary director in the German theater world. And it's a situation where one person is coming into the room and who's enjoying me in this little room. And I'm telling stories about my family. I'm going back to what happened 100 years ago. And I'm trying to create the connection between all of our histories. We are all connected with each other. Also, my personal identity, my personal biography is connected to the history of this whole world. And it's a very personal performance. The person who's coming is enjoying me 15 minutes, and then I'm just telling. And the wish is to show how we are all connected to each other with our stories, and that we have a responsibility for each other.
Sesede's passion for acting also comes from her family. Her grandfather Aram Terziyan established the first cinema in Sorgun, Yozgat, which used to show films in 4 languages. It was burnt down in 1971 and then taken over by the state. Aram Terziyan was also responsible for bringing electricity and newspapers to his town. Sesede talked to us about her identity and heritage.
Right now I'm living a dream that I had as a teenager. You know, my parents came as refugees to Germany from Anatolia, and I was born and grew up here, and I have very liberal thinking parents, thankfully. And during Easter, we went to the churches because my parents want for sure that we got something from the Armenian culture, and it's so difficult. It's so difficult because as a child I felt always strange with that, because it was always like a construction, it doesn't feel natural. It was always with pressure, and it was always like, please accept me and I accept you, and and I didn't feel well with that, because my inner nature is so warm, and it's so open, and it's so free of how can I describe, free of categorizing. I take my home inside of me. This body is like my home, and I grow up with the thought that my outside home can always change, and that in every second everyone can take everything of me, because we went through this whole things, and this knowledge, I have this knowledge inside of me.